Happy Friday morning, Georgia Tech fans. It's almost game day as we get ready to talk about this Georgia Tech Boston College matchup. Going to be a fun one and going to be an interesting one as the Jackets head up to Chestnut Hill in Massachusetts. The weather, we'll see how it's going to fare, but this is a weird matchup. I think earlier in the season, people thought this might be a game that what is Georgia Tech doing? What is Boston College doing? And now you find one of the best teams in the ACC, one of the better teams in the country in Georgia Tech, taking on a team that, man, has just completely fallen off the rails. 9 straight losses for the Boston College Eagles. It has been a very, very rough go of it. And we're going to talk about a couple of things here this morning as we get ready to kind of dive into what this matchup is. Now, I want to preface it with this, and I want to start here with this, making sure that you're checking out our friends over at Section 103. They do a fantastic job. The great polos, as you can see right there, the LSU, the Georgia Tech polos, use code TCB10 for 10% off your order today. I wear the gear. My wife wears the gear. It is phenomenal. You are going to want to make sure that you are rocking the Section 103 gear. And it's a great time, too, to kind of dive into the holiday season as we get ready for Christmas. Not too early to decorate for Christmas. As we kind of talk about what are we looking for, right? Like, what are you looking for? So, Section 103, head over there. Make sure you let them know we sent you. Use code TCB10 for 10% off your order today. All right, let's talk about this Georgia Tech Boston College game real quickly. In terms of the actual game, right? Like I'm looking at some of these numbers. This is a Boston College offense that has not been very, very good. This is, you're coming off of a bye week after a humbling loss. And I think it's one of the things where this game is more about Georgia Tech than anything else. This game is more about what can you go out there and do? What can you go out there and prove? Not to just yourself, but what can you need a resume game, right? And this is not a very good team you're playing, not a really good team at all. You need to go out and dominate. So I kind of start off that with point number one. What can you do out there on the field? Well, let's start offensively. I think one of the big things, and if we're talking about what needs to play, because I think a lot of people are saying, hey, we want Georgia Tech to make the playoff. They can make the playoff. Well, how about making a run once you get there? If you're going to make a run, if you can get to the playoff, and I know you got to do that first, you got to clear that first hurdle. How about balanced offensive attack, multiple different weapons getting involved? This needs to be that game, right? I love what Haynes King did last time out by himself against North Carolina State. This team is at his best when Haynes King is doing what he does. But the ability to get everyone involved, to get guys kind of back in a rhythm in terms of the game coming off of a bye week, I think is the biggest thing. That's the biggest key for me offensively is can you get a lot of people involved? Can you get people kind of back on the horse, essentially, in terms of they've had a week off from a game? It was a good opportunity. Obviously, Brent Key talked about, the injury report that came out. Everyone seems to be healthy. That is a very, very good sign. So can you get those guys rolling? Can you get them back into a groove, get them back into a rhythm heading into this final 3 stretch of games? And it starts with one. I guess I'll call it easy. I hate to do that, but you call it easy there against Boston College. I think in terms of when you look at this Boston College defense, look, they're the second worst defense in points per game. They give up 34.5. Georgia Tech averages 34.5. That's a top 20 offense. They're 126th. The numbers are just going to astound you. 431 yards they're giving up per game. Georgia Tech is ninth in the country in total yards per game. Georgia Tech's second in the country, by the way, in yards per play. Boston College is 131st in the country. I could go down the list. There's not a number that they're higher than 69th in the country, and that's turnovers. They're tied for 69th with 11 they've forced. They're not good. This is not a good football team. And I think just in terms of your offense, which is the strong suit of the team, and we all felt like would be the strong suit of the team coming into the season, this year has proven that, is you kind of sit here and you got to say to yourself, okay, you need to be dominant. Like, I want to see 40 to 45 points put up. SMU just walked in here last week and won the game handedly. I believe they put up 48, could be wrong, 48-13, 42-13, something along the lines of that. You need to go in and do the same thing because now it's all about the style points. What does it look like when you're beating teams? And I've said this a lot. If we talked about this on Tuesday night's episode. If you don't want to be disrespected, you've got to kind of start to take the pattern. And I know you don't have as much of a runway to do it with just 3 games left in the season, and 2 of those games being obviously against Pittsburgh and Georgia. But you have an opportunity here where you've kind of got to you got to blow them out. So obviously, if you can take advantage of those numbers where they are not good at all, I mean, they're 119th in the country in explosive play rate given up at 13.5%. You have to take advantage of that. So I expect a big day offensively. I expect a comfortable day offensively. I think this is, in terms of success rate, Georgia Tech is 5th in the country. They're having success in terms of the analytics, in terms of what is a successful play, 50% of the time, essentially. 49.8% is where they sit with that. So out of 136 teams, Boston College is among the worst in the country. You can make an argument they're the worst, if not one of the worst, Power 4 teams in college football this year. You've got to take advantage of offensively. Flipping it over to the defensive side of things, they're not going to give you much of a look. And I think this is something, too, where you're not really going to be tested, right? We talked a lot about this. Like, I thought C.J. Bailey in North Carolina State could test you. They did in different ways. Bailey's a good athlete. You tip your cap to him. It happened, and you move on. This is your moving on opportunity. If you divide and you look at this season in different seasons, right? And I mentioned this way back in August, which feels like forever ago. But I sat here and I told you, I said, hey, look, you've got to view this as individual seasons. Can you win those straights? And for the most part, and Georgia Tech has done that. Now you've got a 3-game season. This is your tune-up. And as for Georgia Tech's defense, that obviously, for lack of better words, got shredded against North Carolina State, this is the get-right game before you go and face Pitt and you face Georgia. Everyone's healthy. Let's stay on our P's and Q's. Let's make sure we're playing gap sound, assignment sound football. Let's make sure that everyone leaves the game healthy and that we have a good showing. I think that for the more critical Georgia Tech fans, and including myself, this is a game where, because I want to say this real quick, we're critical of it because I do think this team is very good, and I think they have the opportunity to be very, very good and have a run in the postseason. This is the type of game where you have to utterly dominate. I don't worry about that offensively. That's a key to me. That's the one thing I'm watching. But I'm watching to see how this defense plays. Do they suffocate a team that suffocates themselves? I mean, that's what Boston College does. They're not very good in anything that they do. 91st in the country in points per game, 106th in the country at 5.1 yards per play. Their third down conversion rate is putrid at 37.3%. I'm trying, once again, they don't have a number. The highest number they have, the best number they have is they're 83rd in the country with 363 yards per game. Sorry. In that. Their negative play rate is 30. A third of the time they're having a negative play. Like, folks, I want you to read that again or listen to that again. Appreciate you on the podcast. Appreciate you on YouTube. 97th in the country with a negative play rate of 33.3%. A third of the time they're having negative plays. This is an opportunity for Georgia Tech to feast as a defense, and I want to see that. That would give me a lot of confidence. It's not necessarily the fact that you're shutting them out or you're doing certain things. It's the fact that you got to watch what it looks like. And if it looks confident, if it looks aggressive, that tells me the bye week served them very, very well. If it looks a little hesitant, if it looks, oh no, we're bending, and you can't bend against this team and be a title contender. You can't bend against this team and be a legitimate playoff team that deserves to be there, in my opinion. So I want to see that. I've got that high standard because I think this team obviously can be very, very good in that sense. So those are just some of the numbers to go through. I mean, they have the second most turnovers as an offense with 21 so far this season. Second most in the Power 4. It's just abysmal. So that's offense and defense. That's what I expect. Quick message here from Cajun Cousins. They do great stuff. Going to get us to Atlanta, going to get us to Charlotte as well. What's up, everybody? My name is Bryce Koon, and I cover college football here on the Crowded Booth and also over with On3, covering all things LSU. I'm here to tell you about a presenting sponsor this year for us as we get ready to continue tailgate season. It's our friends over at Cajun Cousins Company, based in South Carolina, but serving the entire Southeast with a little bit of that Louisiana flavor. Now, listen, they've got great products. They've got some great merch, including this awesome hat for you LSU fans that I'm rocking right now. But today I want to tell you about something that's going to maybe spice up that tailgate or that event a little bit more. It's Cajun Cousins pepper sauce. Make sure you try it out. Whether it needs to go on the po' boy, whether it needs to go on the fish, or even in some of that jambalaya, make sure you let them know the Crowded Booth sent you and head over to CajunCousins.co.com and get what you need today. Whether it's a family event, whether it's a part of that tailgate here in football season, Cajun Cousins Company is the way to go. Also, want to tell you about our friends over at MacArthur Woodworks. They do a fantastic job. It's great stuff. I got the hat right here. The wife is still utilizing the charcuterie, the cutting board there as well, the display board as we're getting ready to decorate for the holiday season. And as you're getting ready to not just decorate, but you need to find that gift for that special someone. Maybe you drew a name. Maybe you want to get mom, grandma, something that's really special, or even dad or grandpa as well. Check out MacArthur Woodworks. They do a fantastic job. I absolutely love it. We've already had someone over in our Discord, which you can join down below, and you can click the link down below to head MacArthurWoodworks.com. From custom furniture, custom bookshelves, to boards, to anything that you want, this is a gift that will mean something, and they will hold it near and dear to their heart. Make sure that you take advantage of the opportunity. Use code TCB10, 10% off of your order. It's a fantastic opportunity for you to have a gift that will mean something. It won't get lost in the back of the pantry. It's going to be displayed. People are going to want to show it off, and you get to show off as well what MacArthur Woodworks does as well. And for you Georgia Tech fans who are tuning in, this is a Georgia Tech grad, a Georgia Tech fan. So it's supporting Tech grads, which I know you want to do there as well. The last portion of today's show is really, it's not so much about this game, but I guess I wanted to clarify some of the things we were talking about on Tuesday and what this game means. You're entering this 3-game stretch where you need to pass the eye test. That's what this game means. That's what this game is. So for Georgia Tech, for the people listening, for the people watching, the people making the trip up there, you're in the midst of a very special season. This is a lot of fun. I remember when we started this show, it wasn't in the fun times of Georgia Tech football, and this has been a blast to talk about this each and every single week with you in terms of what Georgia Tech's being able to do. I love it. Everyone loves it. Might be misconstrued that we don't love it all the time. We might have a difference of opinions along the way, but bottom line, this is a lot of fun, and I love seeing this. This game against Boston College isn't going to make or break you. I think you're going to win it. I think you win it handily. This needs to look like a playoff team. Can you go out there and look like a team that belongs in the conversation, that truly belongs in the top 12, and put such a resounding result out there on the field that they cannot ignore you? That's what I want to see out of Georgia Tech on Saturday. This is an opportunity. I laid out some of the stats for you. I laid out some of the information there for you in terms of what it is. No real reason to do a true deep dive into this game. They're not a good football team. You are. You go take care of business on the road. That's what this is about. We're going to talk next week about some of the chatter around Brent Key and head coaching job and whatever. That's off-season talk, but it's leaking into the regular season and a special season for the Jackets. But as we sit here on Friday, November 15th, you're playing meaningful football. You're viewed as one of those teams. You slipped up. Now you've given them a reason. Go on the road, win this football game handedly, dominate your opponent, physically overmatch them to the point where they can't ignore you. I think that's the absolute recipe here in terms of what needs to happen. It's what I hope happens. I think Georgia Tech covers this spread. I think it's a pissed off team that comes out, puts their foot on Boston College's throats, and never lets up. That's what you want to see. I want to see a mean, nasty, tough football team that puts pedal to the metal, embraces who their head coach is, embraces what this program is being built on. I love it. You love it. We all love it. Let's go see that happen on Saturday. That's what I'm excited about. That's what I want to see happen on Saturday. Not too much to it. Shorter episode for sure. It is what it is. There's no reason to put in a lot of fluff and talk about this. Next week, we'll talk about the game and some of the Brent Key rumors. And then it's a one-game season. That's what this team needs to do the rest of the way. There's no room for error. Get to Charlotte. beat Georgia, beat Pitt. Let's see what happens. My name is Bryce Koon. This is Section 103, presenting the show all season long. Swarm Talk brought to you by the Crowded Booth. We appreciate you so much for tuning in, you Yellow Jacket fans. Some exciting news as well. We'll go ahead and put this out here. We'll have a graphics coming later. We will be at Clean Old Fashioned Hate in the Blue Lot, hanging out, tailgating. Make sure you come by. We'll have more information as we go along. Would love to have you come by, grab some food, hang out. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we've got a good game on tap later that afternoon. I'm making the trip up to Atlanta for this one. And just a tease, the plan is to be in Charlotte the next week. So a lot of great stuff on the horizon for the Crowded Booth and Swarm Talk. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Great community of people. We appreciate the support. We know who you are. All those who don't comment but just watch or listen, I appreciate you as well. Make sure you get those listens up. Continue to do that. We're growing. It's another year of growth. I appreciate you for making this a place that you want to hang out and be a part of. That means a lot to me. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Shout out MacArthur Woodworks. Shout out Cajun Cousins. Shout out Section 103. They do a fantastic job. We'll catch you next time. Georgia Tech. Go put belt to Boston College.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The Crowded Booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.